toys. That's what I want to talk about.
What are you talking about?
You ordered a fucking hot toy. I want to talk about that.
What are you talking about?
No, you're not backing out of that one, sir.
No, I'm asking you. What are you talking about?
You ordered
Dude,
a
you
hot
said
toy,
you
right?
a hot toy, episode 5 Vader.
That what?
Look, he's trying. He's a revisionist. He's trying to change history.
Oh,
Welcome back for the first time, geek enthusiasts and lovers of the plastic crack. This is your safe space, free from safety. So put your hands on some plastic. It's time for Toy Detox. Let's get this shit popping, dude. Hey, what's popular, everybody? You are tuned in to Toy Detox. On this side of the mic, of course, you have Brave the Well-Dressed Nerd. On the other side of the mic, in 4 different directions, going on my screen from left to right, from top to bottom, you have Tyler, the former collector.
Collection is still plenty big. Just ask your
Shoes
wife.
don't count.
We have Spiros, the Twitter. What can we call you now, Spiros? Like I think you're like Spiros, the Twitter Super Saiyan level 6 now? What do you
call me the Toy Detox fact checker.
The Toy Detox fact checker.
How many Twitter followers do we have now?
Yeah, like 5.
Hold on. Right now, I was just looking at the Instagram so we can give Cody props. Look how selfless I am. I'm looking at the other platforms before I look at my own.
No, I think your performance is so bad you're trying to divert attention away from yourself. That's what you're trying to do right now.
89 followers, just within striking distance of that hundo.
Oh my
We're
God.
rapidly gaining on Nerd Rage Radio.
We got Afate, the newest member of 8 weeks, which has become 8 years. What's up,
Yes.
Is that shit?
guy?
Is that shit official?
man? His membership
guess.
is, the show ain't.
Yeah.
Shout out to Afote for keeping the stereotypes going too over the weekend.
What happened? I guess more on that in a moment. And a very hold on. And a very, 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 very special announcement. Everyone, please hold it down for a second. We have the ghost face savage himself. Garrett is on the motherfucking line, yo. Garrett is on the motherfucking line. Everybody make some motherfucking notes for that. Garrett's on the motherfucking line.
What's going on, you guys?
Who are you gonna call?
It's about time. I think people thought we were starting to make him up. He was just a running joke because he was never on the show.
I'm the imaginary Jew.
Motherfucking
Okay, here we go.
And of course,
Yeah, dude, the first thing you ever say on the show, and it's got to be a Jew joke. Come on, sir. And for the record, he is being self-deprecating before we start getting all the hate mail in.
I know, right? Exactly.
We'll call Garrett the Golden Ghost.
Oh, okay.
hey,
Call me by my Hebrew name.
big ups to the foreign connections.
I think our popularity with the Trump supporters just went up.
Hey, big up to our foreign connections who yet again aren't on. Big ups to Lenny Dezefticon. He's become the new Garrett. I mean, literally, Garrett is not the Garrett anymore. It's now Lenny. And of course, big ups to Cody. We can't get Cody shit because Cody be knocking the fuck out the Instagram and the Facebook. So we can't fuck with Cody at all. He's doing this thing even when he ain't doing this thing. So We'll give you shit anyway,
Yeah,
bro.
We can call him Cody 3K because he has 3,046 followers
Check
on the Instagram.
that out, and
There
we
you
are
go.
growing. One big announcement before we go any further: the Show Us Your Toys group is popping. Everybody go check out the Show Us Your Toys group. It's doing pretty good. It is a Detox Savage group, and it's doing pretty good. And it's helmed by, yet again, Ghostface Savage Garrett. So, good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Good job on that, Garrett, man.
It's a good one.
Now, introductions are away. Y'all can talk about whatever the fuck y'all want to talk about. Go ahead, bro.
Are we not going to get into our nerd weeks?
Have at it. Nerd. We don't do nerd weeks on this show, sir. We do
Adventures of Nerding. I'm sorry.
I'm not editing that. IP infringement. You know what? I want to know. I want to know about Garrett's Adventures of Nerding. I want to know about Garrett. Go ahead, Garrett. What you got, bro?
What? Just the week?
Whatever, bro. Like for you, I think it's about a year now, isn't it? Your Adventures of Nerding for the year. What is it? Just go ahead. Just have at it. Whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to do.
And new stuff that I've gotten, well, at least in the last 2 weeks, was the Iron Factory Bruticus parts.
Nice.
They are a nice set so far. I can't wait for those arms.
I know, it looks so good. It really looks great.
And what's crazy is that it's leader class size.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Oh, when it's combined?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of us who don't speak Hasbro,
Yeah, like what is that?
Like maybe what's something?
Would you say like about a foot tall, maybe?
Nah, probably like
Wait, it's
Eight.
bigger than
I
Voyager
wanna say
8,
size,
9
right?
inches.
I want to say maybe a little bigger or maybe a little smaller than Fans Toys Galvatron.
Oh, okay. See, for some reason I thought it was like it would have been just a little smaller than like a Make Toys combiner.
I thought it would have been like a Voyager size deal.
No,
No.
if you look at the Power of the Primes Optimus, the leader class, I think it's like just a hair shorter than MP10. So like leader class would be height wise about MP10 size, just a little bit under.
Like the Onslaught alone is about a third of a size of a deluxe figure.
Ah, okay.
so does that put it out of scale with the rest of the Legends? It sounds like it's bigger.
It's a little bigger, but to me, that doesn't really matter. Like I kind of like the combiners like a little bigger than the regular bots.
How does that
Yeah,
scale
it
with
should be.
How does that scale with
'Cause-
Hulky?
Because size that doesn't matter
Size
to you,
doesn't
Garrett. Is that what you're saying?
Like Hulky, I think those guys combined, they're about maybe an inch and a half smaller than Bruticus. I think.
I don't think
Okay.
I like that actually.
It's a little too small for you.
I don't think Bruticus should be bigger than Devastator.
Yeah, that's true. Devastator's supposed to be the tallest, right?
I have a feeling though that someone's gonna make a new Devastator soon.
Oh, I'm sure Iron Factory will.
That's
Wait,
why I'm
wait,
actually
how
considering
big was that, how
selling
big-
all my Combiner Wars stuff and just replacing it with Iron Factory combiners.
You should do that anyways.
I was about to say, throw that shit away.
How big was the
Hey, I
the
don't
Scorpionaut?
mind the Combiner War stuff. Like I love that Bruticus.
I'm sorry.
Oh yes.
Nikki, the Scorpionaut.
Tyler, you
the Iron
can't say
Factory
anything
was
anymore.
about
You
a
don't have a
Voyager.
collection.
You know what's funny? Never mind. I'm not gonna get into this yet.
Would you say there, Spiros?
The Iron Factory Scorponok is about Voyager sized, so like 5-6 inches.
So
I'd
that
say.
means that the Bruticus is going to be bigger than the Scorpionaut. The combiner will be bigger than the City Bot. That's weird. I don't think they thought that one.
Well,
out.
Yeah,
I
that is
mean,
weird.
I think if you need to shoehorn Iron Factory Scorponok into a continuity, it's probably more IDW. So he's not a city bot in IDW. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's
but
their
does
out.
does the Iron Factory one does it have a city mode? I mean, I don't know, so I'm asking.
It has like
I
a
don't know.
slight base mode.
Well, then it's gotta
Like
be
it
better
kind
than
of
the
looks like a
whatchamacallit.
miniature version of Pandanus.
Okay, so I would assume. Well, you know what? I always thought that that Scorponok was too small, anyways, to be considered. You know what I'm saying? I get the whole legends and they're making it. I get that. So I had no criticism on it. Maybe a small criticism, small bit of criticism. I think that it always seems that it would make sense, anyways, that you would put your legends figures with the actual city bots from the other companies. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that Scorponok even fits, no matter what. So it doesn't even matter. I take my point and I stick it up my ass. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Talk about anything else. It's cool.
I also got
Cheers.
a
Cheers.
Bruticus shirt from the one and only Mickey.
Mm. How you like
Oh,
that?
I'm waiting on mine. I'm still waiting on mine.
It's coming,
Ooh.
sir. I'm a bit preoccupied. It's coming. Because I do have
really
the
like
numbers
that
now.
shirt.
So
I said I really like that shirt.
let's hear about that. Like, what do you think about that shirt? I mean, like, what were some of the high points of it?
Just the fact that I have a Bruticus shirt now, and it came on the same day as my Iron Factory stuff.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
Oh wow, look at that.
Well, what about the packaging, bro? I'm just trying to get the user experience. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely like the included print. That was a nice touch. I'm definitely gonna frame that.
Oh, cool. All right. Cool. Anything else for your nerd adventures?
I got that upgrade kit for the MP Ironhide to fix his hips.
How's that?
It's actually really good. It was a pain in the ass to change over though, because the screws are so hard to get to.
I don't remember what the kit even looked. Yeah, you guys remember what the kit looked like?
Was it the one that puts the tires on his ass, or takes the tires off his ass, or something like that, or puts them on his ass?
No, they still put him on his ass, but it puts the hip skirts area kind of like in the lower waist. So it kind of fills in that whole area.
Gotcha.
So
I think that's about it.
And that kit's what, $20?
I got it for like 17.
Okay.
Nice.
And how long would you say it took you to install it?
I would say about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad
Just
at all.
trying to get to the screws though.
That was the hardest part, right?
Yeah. And the screwdriver that they give you kind of sucks. Doesn't give you the right torque you want.
Are you saying that you don't have a collection of third-party screwdrivers yet?
Nope.
Then you are not doing it right, sir.
I use my own screwdriver from work. A
Gotcha.
screwdriver I can trust.
I was gonna say you can count on that one a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro.
That's good.
Anything else on that?
Nah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's cool. Hey, Spiros, what about you? How was your adventures in nerding? Did we lose Spiros?
No, I was muted and my phone's lagging a little bit, so it took me a while to get back to Skype. Adventures in Nerding. I have bought a lot of Legos recently. I bought a Lego kit for one of my kids for Christmas, and then I went to Walmart and I saw some on clearance, so I picked those up, and then I went to Target because they just did their reset and they had some on clearance.
So what kind of Legos? Hang on, don't rush.
They're all from the Lego Classic. So it's all like simple blocks, not and not any like fancy Star Wars or where they have all the weird shaped blocks that are very specific to whatever vehicle you're building.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it because that's what I had when I was a kid. Just the simple rectangular square blocks, the flat panels and stuff like that. And my kids really like it. And dirty little secret, I like playing with the Legos almost as much as my kids. So I figure I can justify buying all this stuff so I can say they're for my kids. As far as Transformers go, I have some stuff on the way to me, so I won't mention that. I did pick up a Power of the Primes Leader Optimus, which I did not open and sold to a friend of mine.
Damn, I was gonna ask you how it was.
It looks nice in the box. I don't know. Honestly, I want that. I want Orion Pax to be remolded into Minimus Ambus from the IDW comics, and I want
That'd
him
be
to
cool.
still. I want him to still turn into a white Prime Ultra Magnus, so it's like
Racism.
It's the Transformers equivalent of a Russian wrestling doll.
That
Well,
would be nice.
Mickey, you can't change what Ultra Magnus is. He can't help the way he was born.
So you're saying he was born that way? Is that what you're saying?
That's like Lady Gaga said. He was.
It's
born
not a
that way.
choice. He was born that way.
But let me think. Is there anything else? I've been watching a lot of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because I got Netflix back, and one day I was eating dinner and I just put it on because I'd watched the original Full Metal Alchemist back when it was on Cartoon Network,
Yeah.
like Adult or whatever.
That's a really good animation.
Yeah,
Which one is it again?
The Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, really?
I haven't
which,
seen Brotherhood. I got a question for you
the
about that though.
Brotherhood? See,
Yeah,
I'm literally on Netflix right now, and I just skipped past it, so I'm gonna add that to my queue like right now.
Way to
Yeah,
pay
it's-
attention to the show.
Go ahead, Spiros. I apologize for causing disruption.
Can I finish? No, it's a lot different than the original Full Metal Alchemist. I guess the original anime was a super condensed offshoot of the manga. So I guess Brotherhood is more faithful to the manga version, and I like it a
Do you
lot.
have to watch the original to watch this one?
No. It's
Okay.
it's basically a replacement of the original.
What's
Okay.
different? What's different about it? As far as like just, I mean, I understand what you're saying as far as where the source material is, but what's different? Like, what else are you getting in it that you didn't get in the original?
You're getting a lot more backstory fleshed out. Some characters have completely different origins, and some characters are completely different as it is. So it's kind of cool. And it's funny because Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like when you play it, it defaults to the Japanese audio track with subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
And like I watched it for one episode with that, but I missed all the American voices because that's what I watched on
Yeah.
Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So take that, Afote, with your subs over dubs attitude.
Subs not dubs, yo. Subs not dubs. That's blasphemy.
Well, it's funny because I watch it with the subs on still because sometimes I'll watch it when the kids are in bed. So you can hear where the English dialogue goes off beat, but
Right. No, but if you got a superior dub, I mean, if the dub's done well, then obviously, I would prefer to watch that. But me, I'm a bit of a purist when it comes to that kind of stuff.
oh yeah, like any anime that I haven't seen a dub for, like I'll definitely watch subtitled just because I don't know any different. But and I mean I really like Full Metal Alchemist. I actually went out and bought all the DVDs like back in the day when I worked at Suncoast.
Suncoast, whoa,
Man. The deep dark
shit.
cave of every mall.
Suncoast. Wow.
But
You might as well have said Babbage's.
Babbage's, man.
Babbage's. I don't remember
Many
Babbage's.
many a teenage years spent at Babbage's and Software, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember Babbage's.
Babbage's. I know we had them around Chicago.
We had one in Menlo Park Mall for a while. It was a long time ago.
Was that the predecessor to like GameStop?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I think I remember it now.
Well,
I think-
GameStop bought them out because, man, does anyone remember Funkoland?
I do.
I do not.
Oh man, with their price sheets that they published like every week.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Yeah, I think I was too young for all this stuff.
no, Funkoland was GameStop before GameStop.
Yeah.
Like they bought and sold video games, and I don't know if it was every week or every month, they had a little black and white like flyer that was almost like the stock market, listings, and it was their buy and sell prices for like Nintendo games, and I think it was like Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and Super Nintendo. Like, this is how far back it goes. Like, those were the only game systems out. And probably, like, Game Boy, probably. But, yeah, dude, I spent so much of my youth in there. Anyways, that doesn't have to do with my adventures in nerding, but, we'll wax nostalgia. Other than that, like I said, I have some stuff on the way. But my adventures in nerding have been relatively light.
Cool, man. Cool. Shit. I don't know who's gonna be who. After I'm gonna go with you next because I know Tyler's got a whole long list of it. How was your adventures in nerding, After?
Yeah, my adventures in nerding were pretty tame, to be honest with you. For since the last time we've recorded, I haven't really done much. Haven't gotten any figures. I don't think. Did I get? Oh, and I got the con exclusive fans project Pinchar. Their Snarl. I got that one with the one with the black body versus the red body.
The Diaclone colorway.
The Diaclone. Yeah.
What con was that exclusive to? Like, that kind of came out of nowhere.
I don't. Yeah, it actually, it might not have been con exclusive. I know it was something exclusive. I can't remember exactly what. I have to go back to the website, but I know it was like it might have just been exclusive to the Fans Project website, as a matter of fact. But I mean, it's a cool figure. I like the Lost Exo Realm Dinobots. So
I like those too, man.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic of them. I wish they were bigger, but it is what it is.
That looks really sharp and black.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the look of it. I mean, it's a bit if I have to be honest, it's a bit wonky in terms of, actually it's not a con exclusive, it's just a Fans Project exclusive. In terms of the way the backpack works out, like the tail doesn't really fold in too well on the back, and the spike, the way it transforms, like the back spikes kind of just sit up in the back, up over the head. It doesn't really compact too well in the back, but I mean, I come from Gunpla land, so I'm used to big ass backpacks. You know what I mean? So it's no big deal for me. But I can see why some people might take umbrage with it. But I wish it had the version with the weapon that transforms instead of just the driver, because the driver doesn't really transform. But besides that, I'm not mad at it. It was cheap too. It was only relatively anyway, right? It was only like, I think $80 or something like that, $85. So, yeah. I'm pretty happy with it. I actually gave it. Also, the second part of my adventures in nerding was I went to shout out to Dust Mites. He had his little get together and hung out with Tyler there. Hung out with Bobby. Gave him the pinch art to review, so hopefully that'll be up soon or whatever. But
man,
I had a good time there. We no, go ahead, Spiros.
No, I had to say before we get too far off, I was dying laughing when you went live when you got there.
Oh yeah.
Because you pan around the room, and this very white, very bald young man, like a split second after you panned over him, I hear him or someone next to him be like, "Oh no, Facebook Live," and like he ducks and turns his like head behind his shoulder.
Yeah.
And I was dying laughing. I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, Afote almost exposed Bobby Skullface.
Yeah. I deleted the video because he actually did expose him. Like his face was clearly seen without the mask on the thing. So I deleted it because I don't want to be that guy. But
as soon as I saw it, I let you know in the chat. I was like, "Damn,
yeah,
almost
I
exposed
took it
Bobby
down.
for the whole world to see."
I pretty much took it down as soon as you told me about it. So
So
but,
how much purple drink had you had at that point?
Oh, that purple drink,
Dude, he had just got there.
I just got there.
I don't even think he had a
I know,
cup.
but like I want to know how quickly our boy Afote gets into it. Like when he gets into a party, like
Well, hang on. Back up. So, what time did the party start?
What, like 7, something like that? I didn't get there until like 10:30, almost 11.
Oh, you're being generous. You got there after 11 o'clock, sir.
Yeah, I got there 11 something. I didn't get there until late.
Well, we showed up at like 4:30, and then the whole time I'm texting you like, "Where you at?" They're talking about you. They're saying you ain't coming.
They're taking bets on whether or not I would show up.
It was more of a pool. We were taking numbers of what time you'd actually show up. So, but I kept saying, he's gonna show up. He's gonna show up. He's gonna show up. So I had your back. They didn't believe me.
I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that. I had quote unquote permission from the missus, so I had to take advantage of it. So, but yeah, it was a good thing. It was a good hangout. Dust played some really dope beats. Like that dude is a monster on production. Like his beats are, I don't understand why he's not signed to like some major label, to be honest with you. Like, cause his beats are just insane. So he played a few beats. And Bobby and I actually wrote a song together to one of his tracks, but Dust was just so drunk. Recording was not happening. Like, there was no recording going on. A, because he was drunk as shit, and B, because it was like 1:30 in the morning and everybody was like asleep. Brian Brink was there and he was like knocked out on the floor snoring, and Pinkerton was there also, just kind of knocked out, and I think he might have been snoring too. So, that was gonna get picked up on the mic. So
hang on. Back up on Chris too. So if you guys have not met Chris is like 6'7", 6'8", somewhere in there.
Giant, yo. That dude is big as hell.
He was smashed in on this love seat. It looks so damn funny. Like you saw nothing but like head, arms, and legs hanging off this couch, and he was like smashed into this poor little couch.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was my first time actually meeting Pinkerton and Brink actually in person, so that was cool. Shout out to those two. But yeah, it was I had a good time, man. It was nice to connect with people, outside of, just on a video screen or over the phone or, via Skype or whatever, you know what I mean? So it was nice. I didn't leave until like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like me and Dust were just listening to beats at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure his neighbors were very happy about that, but it was all good. So that was it for me, pretty much, my adventures in nerding.
Cool.
Still waiting on MP Sunstreaker. Still waiting on Sunstreaker. I ordered him from Japan, so he's not coming until February. But yeah, it is what it is.
My Adventures in Nerding. I watched The Shape of Water finally. Really good fucking movie.
Oh yeah, I watched that. I watched that too. Let me add, me and my daughter and my youngest brother, we all went to go see that. That shit was dope.
Yeah, that shit.
Guillermo
was
del
real
Toro
fucking
strikes
good.
again.
Yeah, and I think that's about it.
What is this one? I don't remember.
The
What
Shape
is
of
this?
Water.
I don't remember this.
It's based off the off like the Hellboy shit, as far as I know, because that's what's his name, Abe, the fishy
Is it
guy?
Abe Sapien though? Is it?
That's what I mean. That's what I assumed. That's what I thought. That's what I thought it was supposed to be, like a spin off or spin on that whole shit, because they're doing another Hellboy joint too. Maybe somebody can square us away and let us know. But as far as
Yeah,
that's what it was.
I don't know if that's actually Abe though. I think that's just like I don't know if that exists in the same universe. I mean, it's a similar looking creature, but I don't know if he's actually Abe Sapien though.
I don't know, bro. Like you got the eggs, you got the egg fetish and everything.
True, that's
I mean,
true.
I
That's
don't fucking know. Maybe like earlier on. I don't fucking know. But Abe was like hundreds of years old, right? So he would have still been alive during that time.
That's true. That's true. And Hellboy started. The first movie was set in World War II?
Yeah.
So it was before The Shape of Water. So yeah, no, I don't think it was him.
Okay, was
'Cause
saying
Shape
that?
of
Yeah,
Water
you're
was
right.
60s.
Yeah, you're right. So if that's the case, then maybe it's just another. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. Somebody consult the book of knowledge on that shit and let us know, square us away. But it was a good ass fucking movie, though.
That was
How
good.
about that? And I watched the fucking toy review for Peru Kill. That's about it. That's all I got.
Yo, is that thing not like a marvel of engineering?
I
love
want
that
that
figure.
shit. I want that shit now. I just saw a cat on Facebook that was selling. I was gonna try to see if I could trade for him with it, because he had that and the Megatron for sale for like $170, and I was like, okay, well the Peru Kill can't be that much, so maybe I can work a trade out with him. But he's got a pending sale, so.
And I have no love at all for. I have zero love at all for.
Bayformers?
Damn near any of the Bayformers. Like I'm not a fan of them at all. But Peru Kill is just so dope.
That shit looks really fucking. The transformation is sick.
The transformation. Oh my god.
You have that one, right, Garrett?
Garrett has
yeah.
it. Mhm.
Tell us about that, Garrett.
Cody has it too. Yeah, Cody has it too, I think.
How do you like it, Garrett?
Garrett. Yeah.
Oh, I
What's
love
up
that
with
figure
you?
so much.
Isn't it dope, bro?
I pick it up almost every day and just mess with it.
Yup.
Yeah, it looks like one of those, man. Looks like one of those you can just transform it over and over again and have fun with that shit.
How the tolerance is? Tolerance is good.
Oh yeah, I haven't found anything loose or anything too tight. It's a good. Well, other than those two little tabs that are like in between his toes, that you have to flip up for his feet. That is a pain in the ass to try and flip down. You usually need like something to pry it open, but that's really it.
A minor quibble, I guess, relatively speaking, when you look at what you get from the overall.
Even the dog thing is fun to pose. I just wish it was painted a little better. It looks very plain.
You could probably touch that up, though, right?
Well, I guess I wouldn't trust myself doing it.
Does the dog transform into part of the car too, or is it a separate piece?
It's a separate piece and it's just posable.
So it doesn't even transform?
No.
I wish it would have been a little more articulated, since it doesn't transform, you know? So it should have been like have
It's
all over
pretty
the
highly
place.
articulated. It is missing quite a bit. Like, especially in the back legs, it needed at least one or two extra joints. But other than that, it's pretty posable.
Yeah.
The head actually can turn side to side, go up and down. The mouth opens. It's just the back legs that just needed an extra joint.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice figure. Like, it really
But
looks
it's
good.
so much fun to transform.
So to go off of the Shape of Water, I did a little researching while you guys were talking.
Okay.
It is not an Abe Sapien movie, despite the fact that Doug Jones, who plays
Yeah.
Abe Sapien and the Fishman from The Shape of Water,
Yeah.
it uses the same actor, and I mean, it could be misdirection because
This
Doug
motherfucker
Jones
misdirection.
Doug Jones said that Guillermo was very specific. He did not want Abe Sapien in this film at all. He told him to portray him in a very unique way, opposite of Abe Sapien.
So does it say like what his intentions were, or was it just that he didn't want it to get caught up to get classified as a comic book movie or something? Because my first thoughts was watching it, I was like, wow, this is based off a comic book character, but you would never even associate it with the comic book. You would never associate it with fucking Hellboy. This shit was just fantastic.
It just says that Guillermo del Toro wanted to make a basically like a sci-fi fairy tale.
Standalone something.
So he took no. I mean, at the core of it, there's no way around. You got the same fucking actor who played Abe Sapien to play this fucking shit. It looks like Abe Sapien.
Yeah, it's a fish dude. It looks like Abe. Yeah.
I mean, but wasn't Abe Sapien? Wasn't the idea Abe like for the Hellboy shit? Wasn't basically supposed to be the creature from the Blue Lagoon?
From the Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that the case?
Technically, it's I guess like a variant of it. Yeah.
So I guess technically he could always say then that this character was that, whatever the fuck it was, whatever the fuck. That shit. That was a good ass fucking movie, dude.
That thing. Well, okay. Well, I guess not. This won't be a spoiler. Actually, I guess it was kind of like a. Essentially they said it was a god, right?
Yeah, the local people,
the local people
praise it as they worshipped it as a god because it could like just heal shit and came back to life when he got shot and shit. That shit was dope, dude.
Yo, so we walked in pretty late. We walked in about maybe like 5 minutes after the movie
she did
started.
have sex with it. Yes.
No, yeah, but that that happened like later on. Like, that was like in the middle of the the beginning of the third act. But did they show any of like did they show any origins of the creature or nah?
Nah, I didn't see. Nah, because it was it seemed really like it was more the story. Well, the story it was still more so from her perspective. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't get any back. Well, you got backstory on him for the parts you saw where they talked about where they found him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's about it. There was no original information.
We walked in the beginning where they were first wheeling him into the laboratory. Yeah. And she puts her hand on the thing and he kind of like, jumps and that part. Yes. Shout out to Michael Fassbender, yo. Michael Fassbender killed his role, yo.
That dude's a fucking terrific actor,
He's
man.
He's a genius, yo. He fucking killed it. Like,
we will find him.
He was really, really good.
Oh, he said I will find him, but still, that shit, dude, man, fucking awesome.
I fucks with Michael Fassbender, yo.
You guys remember him from what was it, Boardwalk Empire? Was it Boardwalk Empire?
I've never seen a single episode of Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire was the show, man. Yo, but it was mainly from her perspective, and the bit of how they opened it up and show what her day-to-day routine is and like get you like caught up in her story was really cool. That fucking movie was good. It was like really timeless.
It was good. It was awesome. It was very, very good.
It was awesome.
And I haven't, to be honest with you, I've not seen a Del Toro flick that wasn't like super awesome.
Yeah,
right?
He's good. Period.
Like everything he does is pretty damn good.
Yeah, he's fucking good. I was watching. I felt like I was watching. It may not make any sense, but it reminded me of when I was a kid and that feeling I had when I was watching Dick Tracy. Or you know what I'm saying, or watching The Rocketeer. I know that makes no sense.
Yeah.
I guess
it does.
Because it's a period piece or whatever.
Yeah, I can feel that. I could get that. Yeah, it had that kind of like nostalgic feel to it. Like it was very 60s period piece. Like definitely
good,
like
man.
well draped. Like every scene just like screamed like 1960s America. You know what I mean? So for sure,
What was
like
you
everything.
what was you finna say, Tyler?
No, I was gonna say Rocketeer, man. That's a blast from the past right there.
Yeah, I love that movie, man. The scene where her and Abe were sitting at the table, and she wants to, because she can't. For anybody who haven't seen it, hasn't seen it, she
Oh,
can't.
so we wait, hold up. We just calling him Abe now. We just gonna call him Abe.
Yeah, she's fucking Abe, bro. His motherfucking
For
his
the
mom. His
for the
mama
sake
named
of
him Abe. I'm
discussion.
gonna call him Abe. His mama named
His
him Abe. I'm
mama
gonna call
gave
him
him
Abe.
Abe. Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly.
the scene where she's sitting across from him at the table, and like I said, for anyone who hasn't seen it, she's a mute. She can't talk, right? So
Right.
she's sitting at the table and she wants to tell him that she loves him, but she can't say it, and she's like, "You'll never
Oh,
hear me." And
yeah.
the way like just they fade to black. They fade everything out into shadow. They bring her out with a spotlight, and then they take it to one of the performances that she
It turned
watches
into
on
a
TV.
musical.
Yeah, and she
Yeah,
starts singing and dancing. That fucking movie is awesome, dude. That shit is fucking awesome.
it was very good. I was
I
very
wish
pleased with it.
I wish they would go ahead and let it be known that it is a fucking superhero movie or comic book movie. So then, because I kind of get like I kind of get why he would definitely not want to, because I think if they would have called it a comic book movie or gave any kind of ties to the comic book, then it wouldn't have won all the awards and got all the fucking all the nominations and all that shit that it got.
Well, it was rated R too, so
Uh,
there's that, and it earns its R, like it
yeah, it
earns it.
does. It does. I mean, I
Yeah.
just I see why he did it. I just wish he would have did it, because then you could say that's like the best comic book movie fucking ever. You know what I'm saying? Just as far as, because the thing is, everybody's like, a lot of people like are waiting for the first comic book movie that's going to fucking win a major, win a Golden Globe or a fucking Oscar or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And
It was like a comic book movie that didn't really feel like a comic book
yeah, it
movie.
had no. You wouldn't. I didn't even give a fuck. I didn't find in the beginning. I found myself saying, are they gonna reference Hellboy, or is that one guy with the fucking toupee?
I was
Is
totally
that the
waiting for
doctor?
that.
Yeah. I was like,
I was
I thought that was gonna be
waiting for
the guy that Hellboy called dad or whatever, father or whatever. But once I got into the movie, like maybe 15 minutes into her story, I wasn't even thinking about Hellboy no more. I was just caught up in the movie, man. You guys should really see it if you haven't seen it. You should really see it.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
And I think and I watched a review on the KO MP Megatron
Here we
versus
go.
the real MP Megatron. But that was more so like research for this song that I did with Afrotate. You know what I'm saying?
Excuses.
Hey, I'm down. Shit, that motherfucking shit was. And as a matter of fact, they just dropped another KO. Was it? I can't remember the name of the company, because there's supposed to be like 2 more coming out, and the one that just dropped is like the Infinite something or some shit. But that shit is on
Oh,
point. Yeah, that's the one to
Infinite
get.
Transformation or
Yeah,
whatever.
if you're gonna get a KO in Megatron, that's the one to get, dude. That shit is on fire. But
Or you could just buy the real one.
Or you could just buy the real one and get a KO like I do.
or you can just buy the KO. I don't give a fuck. You can, whatever
All
makes
my
you
KO,
happy.
I have the original. I have the originals of all my KOs. I like everyone except for the Robot Hero Starscream. I have the originals of.
I look at it like this, man. So many
Like
different.
somehow,
Huh?
that makes it better. I don't get that.
I look at it
I
like
agree.
this. There are so many
It
toys that
doesn't,
pass through this
but I don't
collection that
care.
don't even
Like,
matter, dude. Yeah,
I
like
don't care if it
I
doesn't.
don't care. There are too many
Yeah.
figures that pass through this collection. They come and they go, and they come and they go. I had the real ones, the fake ones, the real ones, the other one. I don't even give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But
I'm just gonna stick with my Despotron.
yeah, that's good too. That's a good one too. But
Hey,
that's
did
the
you guys
top
see?
of it, huh?
Did you guys see that one guy who said he had Sunstreaker KO? I don't know if he was trolling
He's
or
trolling.
what.
No
Like,
way he
he
got
had
it that
that's
fast. No way does the
I-
Sunstreak KO that
not
fast.
that
he's like, oh, I got it, like from distributor and blah blah blah, and it said Takasa Tony on it, and I'm just like, no fucking way. Like it was literally like 2 weeks after Sunstreaker had started getting in people's hands from Japan.
Well, I
It's
tell
usually
you,
a few months before. They
yeah,
come out
I
with-
tell you what though, when the other ones start coming out, if it says Takasa Tomy on it, then you know he wasn't lying, But that is pretty fucking fast, man. All right,
Yeah.
drum
That's another. That's
drum
another
roll,
good.
please. Drum roll, please. Let's get to
On to
it.
the main event.
Yeah,
the
let's get
reason
to
we're
it. Tyler, how was your adventures in nerding, sir?
I feel like I'm getting set up like this is a sting operation. Was good, man. Trying to think. Like, watched a lot of TV shows. Wife and I finished up The Office. Started watching Blue Bloods.
Oh, wait a minute. The Office. You guys started watching, like you said. I remember the last time we spoke. You said you were watching like the entire series. Like,
Honestly, my wife and I were talking about. I think we've watched it all the way through like 3 times. I think.
that's
We've done that. I
impressive,
love
sir.
that show.
Yeah,
Kudos.
man. I really like that show too. Like
It's a great show.
at first I didn't like it. Like I hated it. But
Really?
I didn't understand it at first until I watched it from the very beginning.
well, and I think that was part of it. Like I never watched it from the beginning. Like I just saw like bits and pieces of it, right? So, but it was funny. I really enjoy it. I'm interested with this rumor that they're bringing it back now.
I kind of hope they don't.
Me too. Yeah.
I think if they get the same creative team, I think it would be good. I mean, obviously I don't think Steve Carell's coming back, but I think they could probably get everybody back but him. Cuz like I was thinking about, man, I don't think any of them have really done anything since the show's been over. Like a couple of them had movies like while the show was on, and then I think really the only one who's had anything afterwards is what's his name, John Krasinski or whatever, the guy who plays Jim was in like
some war movie.
Well, he was in 13 Hours, which is a really good movie, and then he's in that new one coming out, like Be Quiet or Be Still or whatever that movie is that's coming out.
I think it's called A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place.
Or Quiet Place, yeah. There you go.
The trailer for that looks really good. Yeah.
I saw that trailer 4 times in front of 4 viewings of the Last Jedi.
I watched that trailer over and over again. It's a good trailer.
So what? Oh, and it's funny, man. Like I don't know what it is. Like people just keep rehashing the same thing. Have you guys heard that they're bringing Roseanne back?
The show?
Yeah, they're doing they're doing a reboot, or not a reboot. They're basically bringing it back. And then like I had read something that they're gonna try to explain why there were 2 different Beckys.
Well, I was just gonna ask which Becky are they gonna use?
Wow.
Yeah. Which is funny because I didn't realize Sarah Chalke, who played Elliot on Scrubs, was on Roseanne. She was like the second Becky, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And I have a huge crush on that actress just from Scrubs because I have the whole DVD set of Scrubs. I'll watch that
because you're a man with eyes that work. That's why.
Dude, I just found out that she's the voice of the wife in Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, I learned that too because I've actually only watched 1 episode of Rick and Morty ever.
That show is amazing.
I was about to say I've only ever watched 1 episode of Scrubs.
I love Scrubs also. People kept saying I look like Zach Braff.
What?
No,
I don't really
No, nice try, bro.
I also had
I'm not trying
compared me
to
to Michael
put you
Phelps.
down,
I really
Garrett.
don't see anyone.
But you are no Zach Braff.
I have the nose though.
Well, yeah.
He's like, I'm going to get this shit. I'm going to get this shit. One way or another, I'm going to get this shit.
Wow. And then they just brought back Will and Grace. I almost feel like they're running out of ideas now.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck it, just start shoveling the old shit back out for the new generation.
I'm so sick of that.
I think it's just, I don't know, man. It's like they're trying to recapture that feeling you had. I don't even know how to describe it.
Trying to bring back
that.
I mean, network television, like was the thing back in the day. So you didn't have streaming, you didn't have, 15 million channels on cable. So like, you had your, 5 to 12 channels, because you had like UPN and stuff like that coming up, and so like network.
Wow.
So like
I
everybody,
remember. Yeah.
everybody was tuning in, you know, for like those shows, and like they became endeared to a lot of people. And I think the multitude of stuff that's available, like nobody gets that attachment anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
no,
you have like
I get
you have
that.
your people who are like obsessed with Game of Thrones and shit like that, but you know, as far as situational comedies, I don't think you're really going to see anything
Yeah.
on that level.
No, I'm with you there. Like I get it, but I just feel like it's like instead of coming up with something new, they're just trying to tread down those same dopamine paths that are like buried in our brains from decades ago. You know what I mean?
Did you guys see the stuff with like Friends being on Netflix and like everybody shitting on it because it's like sexist and homophobic and misogynistic and
No, I haven't seen.
Netflix
I
are
haven't seen-
I
melting?
haven't seen. No.
That's probably why they bring back old shows though, because you can't make nothing new for these motherfuckers now. They won't tolerate anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything's got to be fair. Everything's got to be this. Everything's got to be that. And then they want to accuse it of this, that, and the third. So they probably like, you know what? Let's just go back to the old people who used to watch these shows back in the day when we could say whatever the fuck we wanted to say and nobody gave a shit. Like, I was watching some show, and please, no microaggressions attended. But I was watching some old show. I can't remember what the fuck it was, and they actually said faggot on the show, and I was like, wow, like you know what I'm saying?
Man,
Like multiple times.
Yeah, dude, I saw that on network TV. It was a while back. I want to say it was on ABC. Like, yeah, I remember it was like, I don't know if it was like Blackish or Fresh Off the Boat or something like that. But like,
all racist titles.
dude, and
I know,
hey,
right?
I mean,
Hey,
they're-
Blackish is the new Cosby's, yo.
yeah, that's what I hear. A lot of people like that show, but yeah, I heard like they said faggot. I was like, whoa, you know, I mean, I'm not averse to, you know, strong language, but it was like, I don't know about you guys, but like when I was growing up, my mom never swore ever.
Mine either.
So-
My parents never swore either. Yeah.
So like the first time I heard my mom say shit, I was like, whoa, you know, like I was like, whoa, something serious has just happened for, you know, the old lady to, you know, venture into my language.
Mm-hmm.
I had this little thing called Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Andrew Dice Clay, and rap. So I was pretty used to it. And my dad
No,
used
I
to
mean,
curse
well,
like a
I mean,
motherfucker, too.
yeah, you're like I cuss like a sailor with my friends, Mick, but I'm saying like
So
if
you're
my
your
mom
parent.
cussed.
Oh, you mean
like,
if your
it
mom was the
shock.
curse? Okay.
Yeah, because like I mean, you know, if you don't expect it from a source, and you know,
No, I get that. I get that.
yeah, it shatters your perceptions.
I remember my one of my best friends, his mom and my mom had they went out or some shit, right? And so she was telling us stories about their night out or whatever, right? And she was saying how my mom had drinks, and I was like, bullshit, my mama doesn't drink. You know, I was like, I think it was like in the 5th or the 6th grade or some shit. And I was like, you fucking liar. You know? But yeah, she had drinks and
She had drinks.
Yeah, she had fucking drinks, and she probably had sex at some point in her life too. I don't know. Maybe at least 2 times in her life. I know she's had sex. So, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. I mean, cut into what you're saying.
Now, who was talking? Who started that?
Tyler's doing his.
Oh yeah,
adventures.
Tyler. Wait, I'm sorry.
All of the many rants. It is okay. I'm trying to think. That might be it. Besides that, like the great purge
No,
of
motherfucker. That ain't it.
28
Yeah, there you go.
The great purge of 2018 has begun. But,
How much have you gotten rid of so far?
You know what? We can save that. We can come back to that.
All right, let's come back to it.
Hey Tyler,
For sure,
hey
'cause that's a topic
Tyler,
all to itself.
Tyler, have you ordered anything?
No, I haven't.
Have you?
I see what you did there, Mickey. I see what you did there, Bray.
No,
That
no-
sounds
nothing
that sounds
ordered.
like a setup, sir.
I'm just wondering, Mr. President, what are your views on hot toys?
Well,
is it
funny.
Is it fake news?
It is fake news. So funny, our commander-in-chief, you know how he's all about the big business, right?
Yep.
For sure.
So have you heard about this, him, what are they calling it? Relieving the tax shelter laws
Yeah.
to try to invite companies to bring money back into the United States?
Yeah, this
Oh,
major
this is
tax
the Apple.
holiday.
This ties into the Apple thing, right?
This is the Apple thing.
Yeah.
So right now, it is estimated that Apple has over 137 billion with a B billion dollars outside of the United States, and they do not want to bring it in because of the current corporate tax structure.
Now, see, I thought they were going to bring a good portion of it now that we put the now that he passed that tax reform and shit.
So
and
that's
that
the
big
thing.
tax holiday.
So it's going to bring it back in. But the question is now is what is Apple going to do with $137 billion?
Take over the world. Take over the
What
world.
can't they do?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, like,
Well, let me
Apple's
put
gonna buy Disney now.
Well, hang on. Let me put this into perspective. Disney just bought Fox for $60 billion. Apple could have bought Fox more than twice.
How much is Disney?
I'm telling you, Apple's gonna buy Disney.
Because I can see some shit like that. Because Apple needs something. They need something. Because go ahead.
Well, the rumor on the street is that their first target of acquisition is Netflix.
Apple's?
Oh, no. Don't sell Netflix. Don't sell. Because Netflix, I mean, Netflix has got money to burn right now. You don't got to do it, Netflix. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's interesting.
You know why
we need Netflix to be that last shining beacon of
the bastion of
They're probably looking at Hulu and what happened with Hulu when they sold, and I can see Netflix wanting to do it, but I should hope not. And I understand why fucking Apple would want to sell, because as far as I know, fucking Apple TV shit ain't popping like that.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Think how quickly you strengthen your brand with Apple TV.
God, I don't want to be forced to go through Apple TV for my shit.
It makes sense.
It does make sense.
If you're Apple.
No, it makes perfect sense. It just fucks it up for us.
Does it really, though?
I think it does, bro. I think it does.
Well, here's the thing. It fucks it up for us in the sense that it would probably introduce some sort of change, some forced change into the Apple ecosystem.
See, I think Apple's smart. I don't think that they would try to force everybody to go over to their product, at least not immediately. Like, if you're smart, if you have Apple TV, you get a discounted rate on Netflix now, right? Or you tie in some sort of exclusive content that is only accessible through Apple TV. Because you can't kill the cash cow.
Right, exactly.
So they can't force everybody over.
Now, if they integrated their Apple TV, if they integrated their Apple TV app into Netflix and they made Netflix their primary streaming service and just said fuck the Apple TV shit, then I could see that, because the Apple TV shit ain't popping like that. I mean, how many motherfuckers really just want to sit and stream through Apple TV? You got to pay for everything. You know what I'm saying? I think that I can see that making sense if they want to just fucking say merge them, but let it go under the flagship of Netflix because they own it regardless. As long as they don't fuck with the pricing and shit.
I don't even own anything Apple anymore.
What? What is wrong with you?
On the real, Apple, they've been giving Apple the business, man. Like that new fucking Android phone, the Samsung joint, that shit is murdering the motherfucking iPhone, man. And you know why? Because Apple want to tell you, and don't get me wrong, I'm an Apple fan, but the problem is that Apple wants to tell you what to do on everything. They have such constraints on everything. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the fact that I was used to working on Apple platforms for like art and music and video editing and all this kind of shit, which I think that'll continue to strive, I would just go on over to the fucking Windows shit. Because the problem with Windows is that the real problem with Windows is that as far as the popularity contest, they're losing that in all of the motherfucking liberal corners. You know what I'm saying? Because their marketing sucks balls.
Their system sucks, dude.
Oh yeah, that too. But their marketing. I mean, your system can't suck if your marketing is good.
I mean, my work computer is a HP, runs Windows, and I hate it.
I hate it too.
Hate it.
I was on my sister's laptop the other day, and I was like, "Where the fuck is everything?"
Yeah.
I couldn't navigate through her computer for shit until.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I think. See me, I'm as a web developer, I have to use both. Like I'm forced, right? Like I gotta test my shit on both PCs and Mac, so I'm forced to use both. The newer iterations of Windows are okay. They're okay. It's not like.
I don't like the whole tile system though.
Yeah, I mean the UI could stand some work, you know what I mean? But I personally prefer Mac OS by a huge margin. But I recognize that Windows is okay, you know what I mean? But in terms of the mobile space, ironically, more complexity seems to be more popular, right? Mm-hmm. Apple, put it this way, the iPhone 10, dope phone, super dope phone. Anybody that says it's whack is literally hating, because it's not a whack phone. It's a dope ass phone.
No, it's not garbage.
But it's not garbage at all. It's the best phone that Apple has ever made by far.
That motherfucking right? Android. That motherfucking Android.
I damn know.
That shit is a monster, dog.
Sheesh. And it's far more complex. Like it really is. It's more complex. It's arguably harder to use, but it's a better device. Like it's just an overall more powerful, device. And it would seem as if again, complexity is acceptable in the mobile space more so than it is on the desktop/laptop space.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an anomaly, I guess, if you will.
The problem has always been, the cool thing about Apple, which is also their fucking Achilles heel, they've always been so simple and they take control from you to a certain extent. I mean, not as far as like programming or anybody that knows IT or knows your way around the fucking operating system, you can find your way around shit. Yeah, if you don't mind like, inputting fucking shit, then you're fine, right? But if you don't mind using a command prompt or some shit, you're good to go. Even more so. But when it comes down to like, I can't believe we're doing. Oh, fuck it. When it comes down to like just a regular person that wants to get down and just use some shit, right? They take all the control from you, man. Like when I first walked away from my iPhone to get onto to the Droid platform, and I said I would never do that shit. And my wife got me a Droid, got me that Note, whatever the fuck it was back then, and I hated that shit for like 2 weeks. And then I started getting into it, and I was able to manipulate this and do this and do that and do this. That shit was phenomenal. So then when I finally came back to the iPhone, to the iOS, and I can't even fucking do my ringtones without buying the fucking ringtone from the fucking app from the App Store for 99 cents and all this dumb shit. Yeah, no. Get it out of here. Get it out of here.
I just hope that this Apple, this infusion of 100 and would you say, Tyler, 138 billion with a B?
Yep.
I just hope that they use it wisely.
They have said they're gonna fucking give out some like, hey Tyler, what is it like $2,000, $2,500 worth of bonuses per employee or certain employees, but it's not for their CEOs and shit. It's for like actual working motherfuckers, working class people.
Yeah, I mean they've done that a couple times. I mean there was one point, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, they gave every single person that worked in the Apple stores like a $3 raise, like overnight, just cause.
Wow.
So I mean they're a great company.
Yeah.
I mean I've had a couple recruiters come talk to me, and the packages and everything they offer, like it's very competitive, like it's very good. Trust me. Like I had to think about it. It wasn't it wasn't like a I'm ready to walk away, but I mean it was definitely one of the times like you got to sit up and take notice when they come calling. But like the biggest thing, man, I could tell you the biggest thing for me, if it's art or music, Mac is the way to go, right?
Yeah,
Or video
it has to be.
Yeah.
video
Agreed.
editing. Video editing. But like the fact is like my watch, my Mac, my phones, my iPads, it all works seamlessly. I
Yep.
never have an issue versus you have a PC and some other tablet and like it's like the shit never works the way it's supposed to ever.
That's why they've been winning all these years because of that ecosystem. Once they get you in that ecosystem
Yeah, they
and
got
you see how well that ecosystem works, you're just like, that's it. I don't need anything.
Love it.
Because it works well. All their shit works because they make everything. They make the whole kit and caboodle. So it's tailored, custom made to work with each other seamlessly. And that's their strong point. That's their strength, along with just incredible marketing.
I just want them to do I just want them to do a 12, at least a 12-inch fucking iPad that runs OS X. You know what I'm saying? Not iOS, but OS X, so that I can like.
Doesn't the Pro run
I think-
OS X?
I was about to say I think the Pro does.
Yeah, the Pro runs.
the Pro iPad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the big one.
Yeah.
Nah, it does not, because I was going to get that versus the Surface Pro, because I want to be able to run like full Photoshop, and unless something's changed since I was looking at it last year, unless something's changed since then, I wanted to be able to run like actual Photoshop and ZBrush. Because the whole deal with the Surface Pro is you're actually running Windows on it, so I can actually run all the software that I use for like drawing and 3D design and all that shit. You know what I mean? Versus like the iPad, you got to get like the light versions or something, or the mobile versions or something, and it's just not the same. There is no mobile version of Photoshop that you want to use to do no real work.
I just looked it up right now. It says iPad Pro will run OS X.
When did they start that shit? I demand to know that.
This was dated August 30th, 2017, is the article I just pulled up.
Oh, so that's fairly new.
Yeah, that's new. Because when I was looking at it, it was not that.
Here's one. Yeah, here's one. The iPad looks like it's the future of the MacBook, now running iOS 11.
So then they changed iOS. That's still iOS. That's still
No, but
go ahead. No, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like it says it can run either or. That's
iOS or OS X.
Better.
Yep.
That's even better. That's even
Now
more.
see, that's the
powerful.
jump off right there. That makes it worth it to have, and that's all that I wanted from it.
So when's the last time you heard somebody, when speaking about a tablet, not use the word iPad? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have Samsung and Android tablets are just not even in the running anymore nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that competes is the
Dude,
Surface, dude.
Side note, I was sitting in a meeting on Monday and a guy whipped out a Kindle. I was like, what?
It was a Kindle Fire.
Yeah, it's the color one. I was like,
You should have put him out the meeting. Like, hey, get out. Get out right now.
No.
Get your ass out of here.
no, but like, I just kind of wanted to tell, like, hey man, put that thing away.
Yeah,
You might as well have pulled out an HD DVD player.
Take that monkey shit off, dude. Get that monkey shit out of here. You embarrassing us. Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier, man. Fucking Windows, they don't have the marketing. They're trying, dude. But Apple's got that shit. They've given you a lifestyle. They give you an expectancy, and you just expect to use these certain things. Like you call all your shit this shit. You know what I mean? They
Even with the whole battery debacle, they're still gonna do gangbusters with the next iPhone again.
Well, I got
think
news
they
for you.
always
It's still a pain in the ass to try to find Apple products. I had to go to 3 different stores today to find my wife a pair of AirPods.
And I think
Because
it's
they're
going to
sold
always
out.
be like that.
Yeah, they're sold out everywhere, and I love my pair, and especially when it works with my watch. You know what I mean? Like it's just the fact that everything works so seamlessly. Like
It's funny that you say that, because I was watching MKBHD. Shout out to Marquez Brownlee. And he was talking about he was reviewing some of the best wireless headphones for Android phones, and the conclusion, the TLDR version, basically was that they were all pretty good at certain things, but none of them could hold a candle to the Apple earbud.
I love them, man.
Tyler, I
fucking
have a
win
question
on
for you
everything,
about
dude.
them.
Yeah, what's up?
Do they fall out of your ears like if you're running?
Never had them fall out of my ears.
Okay.
And I've been jogging on with them. I've shoveled my driveway with them on. Like I've done all kinds of stuff. But the thing is like they thought about it, so they built in features. So like if one falls out of your ear, it immediately stops playing the music, right? So
That's savage.
you know if one fell out. And then like the other thing
that's cool.
and then the other thing is you can make it beep to find it.
Oh, that's
Oh, nice.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
and it works with find my iPhone, right? And then the crazy thing is like the little case that they come in, it's actually the charger for them. So you can put your headphones in, and it'll charge the headphone pieces and the case. And then I've gone almost 4 hours having them in, and then they'll finally die. You put them back in their case for 15 minutes, and they're good for another 3 hours.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, love those things. And then like the other thing is like if I'm driving, I can have one in because it works just like a Bluetooth headset. So you can set it up, and like you don't have to reach for your phone. Like I can just tap my watch and it'll answer, and then I can just talk through it.
That's
Well, I can
savage.
do that with my watch, and it's
So-
the Samsung one.
Ah, man, there's no accounting for taste. But
We are in the
anyway,
future.
we are not an Apple podcast.
I know, right? We're like an hour and 24 minutes into the podcast. Talking about we're not.
We are just diverting everywhere. So do we want to talk about this Vegas shooter thing?
Yeah, let's talk.
Why
Yeah,
didn't
man.
You still haven't said why you quit.
We'll get there. Stop, man.
That's the good meaty part of the show, Garrett. You don't know how this stuff run, Garrett. You just ride along. You just ride along, bro. Just ride along.
I'll go back to being a ghost.
We'll get there. All right. So here's the thing. Like we did our episode. Like we talked about it. I know I had 2 friends that were affected by it. Garrett, did you know anybody who was affected by it?
I knew people who were there, but thankfully they were able to get out as fast as they could.
Wow.
That's awesome. So here's the thing with this thing. So we've all known, we did the big episode. We talked about it. We talked about our speculations, with this whole thing. And it just seems like this happened in October. We're now in January. So we're talking 4 months later. They haven't released footage inside the casino, outside of the casino. They haven't given us any pictures. They literally have not provided us anything. And I don't know if it got picked up on the recording, but I alluded to earlier, like when we had this knucklehead in the subway that had the homemade bomb, crockpot bomb, we had footage like at least within a couple of hours after it happened. I think I said 15 minutes earlier. Probably wasn't that
Yeah, it
quick,
was something like that. Yeah.
but it, like we had it within a few hours, right? They have released nothing for this thing, right? Like there was like the leaked photos that came out a few weeks after from like inside the room. But it's funny, it's like any information that we've found out, it's either been a leak or it's been something accidental. So the photos inside got leaked, and that's what showed us the note that everybody thought was a suicide note, but ended up being trajectory calculations, right? The way we found out that he got the guns in the room. Have you guys seen that interview with Steve Wynn?
No.
All right,
which one? Because he did a couple of interviews, didn't he?
So if you guys don't know who Steve Wynn is, he's one of the godfathers of like Vegas. Like my man was involved in Bellagio, Treasure Island, and eventually like built up enough wealth that he built the Wynn. Like the guy owns the Wynn. And they were like one of the local news stations out there was like interviewing him, and he let it slip out that he used the freight elevator to get the guns upstairs. And then like his handler was like, whoa, 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 like immediately like try to like shut it down. So that's how we found out how this guy got the guns upstairs. And he just, said it nonchalantly, like, yeah, it doesn't matter how big of a high roller you are at Wynn Casinos. There's no way we'd let you use the freight elevators. And it's just like,
So how the fuck did he get in the freight elevators to use it?
they gave him access to it.
Who
The
gave him
hotel, the hotel did, because like he was the big time roller, and he didn't want to wait through the regular elevators. And they said like the freight elevator was closer to where he was parking, and it was also like towards the end of the hallway, so he didn't have to walk as far. I don't know. It like they try to give some bullshit excuse about it, right? And then this week we found out that one of the lawyers let it slip, because I guess there's like a bunch of people like pressing to get the information, because they've said there's like 22,000 photos, like I can't remember how many terabytes of data, and I can't remember everything that article said. Let me pull it up. But
40 terabytes of data collected.
Yeah, 40 terabytes, like 500 subpoenas have gone out. They've interviewed like all these different people all over. And then the lawyer let it slip. The reason we haven't released anything is because of the second suspect. And everyone said, whoa, what?
What? What?
Right.
Second suspect? What? And I mean, and anybody who's had any kind of firearm training, despite having bump stocks, there is no way you could get that amount of ammunition, that many rounds off that quickly from multiple platforms.
Right.
And then like none of it has added up. And then on top of it, when we finally did see the inside of the hotel suite, like the bullet casing is sitting on top of the blood, like next to the body. So it's obviously he didn't shoot himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I just kind of want your guys' thoughts and opinions on this thing, because I know we went in depth to it. We did a whole episode of it. Now we're 4-month follow-up. What do you guys think of that article?
That's just insane. It's just insane and crazy. I don't put it past our government to like pull some shit like that, to be honest with you. I really don't.
Pull, like saying the government did it itself, or are you saying that the government's just hiding information?
Definitely.
I would say probably a little bit of both. Maybe a little bit of both.
I've always speculated. We said it earlier at the head of the show. I've always speculated that the dude was a gun runner, along with the conspiracy theory that he was a gun runner. Right, I've always gone along with that. I still feel like he's got some kind of ties. There's some kind of protection, because you don't move that much. I mean, Tyler, you just laid it completely out, right? There's no fucking way that you can move that many weapons in and out of that hotel in Las Vegas, where there's cameras fucking everywhere, and not fucking bring any attention on yourself in no kind of way, form, shape, or fashion. Not to mention buy that many weapons and not have some. Look, the motherfuckers cook up a fucking pipe bomb or a fucking pressure cooker bomb, and you know what I'm saying, for the Boston Marathon. They had these motherfuckers full life story within like a week or two. You know what I'm saying? If not
pretty
less.
Much, yeah.
Yeah, this guy who was a law-abiding citizen, fucking millionaire, right?
Multi-millionaire. The guy owned two planes, like multiple houses.
Yeah, dude. Like you telling me they don't got no idea about nothing concerning this guy. This guy was in Las Vegas all the time, living it up, right? And he's bringing all these, and it's all of a sudden now he's bringing all these motherfucking weapons, and he decided to shoot up some motherfuckers randomly because he just, I don't know, the great Satan. I don't know, with no cause. There's still been no motherfucking no motive discovered or discussed at all. You know what I'm saying? So now I do believe that this, and then you go into the fact that there has been a concerted effort to keep information away from the public on it. Like the news is not even nowhere near covering this shit. Like not nowhere near. Like nowhere near the amount. Like we still talk about 9/11, and with reason, with great reason. You know, it makes sense, right? This is arguably one of the worst terrorists, if it's a terrorist, if you want to classify it as a terrorist event. This has got to be one of the worst since 9/11. I can't think of anything as bad since then. I mean, please square me away if there has been anything as bad.
It was the deadliest shooting in U.S. history. It was
So-
58. It was 58 dead, 500 injured.
Yeah, so where the fuck is all of the fucking investigative journalism at? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I mean, I know
well,
that doesn't exist anymore. I know that, but still, where the fuck is that?
Hang on. I just want to read this real quick.
Go
Like,
ahead.
it's short. But it says that, let's see, bombshell, other suspects under investigation in the Las Vegas massacre. It says, until Tuesday, the public has been told that the massacre in Las Vegas on October 1st was perpetrated by a lone gunman. Although there have been numerous aspects of the case that have remained unexplained, Sheriff Joe Lombardo and the FBI attested that the evidence indicated that Stephen Paddock acted alone. But on Tuesday, inside of a district courtroom, an attorney for various media outlets argued that releasing the information relating to the massacre was critical in order for Las Vegas residents to heal from the tragedy. I 100% agree. Okay. It says the lawyer for Las Vegas Metro Police, Nicholas Crosby, who's probably going to be looking for a new job, later admitted something of a bombshell revelations. Other suspects under investigation of criminal charges may be filed in coming weeks in the investigation into the Las Vegas massacre, the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole reason that court setting was there was because the media outlets were arguing that, you know, they needed to release information so the public could heal. Which I'm like Tyler has said in the past, Las Vegas is the most, you know, has the most cameras of any place on the earth. So, like, the fact that there's absolutely zero evidence released, like, just it's
unacceptable.
It doesn't make sense, like, that there's a complete blackout on all surveillance of every single camera in Las Vegas. Like, you can't orchestrate the withholding of that amount of information without, you know, some pretty high up, you know, puppet masters, let's call them.
Yeah, and it's funny you talk about information. So let's just talk about the amount of information. So this is from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, which is like the big newspaper in Las Vegas. It says reported the following statistics from FBI investigation. 400 specialists brought in. 1,500 leads locally followed. 500 worldwide. 40 terabytes of data collected. 22,000 hours of video collected. 250,000 images collected. 14 days to comb through the 15-acre festival site. 13 days to collect evidence inside of the Mandalay Bay Casino. 12 federal search warrants filed and 500 grand jury subpoenas issued.
Wow.
They haven't given a shit.
Let me just say this. That much manpower, that much time, that much data, that much information, but nothing released at all, sounds to me like that effort to obtain all that data, all that information, all that material was a cleanup. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get all of this fucking evidence together. We got to cover all the bases, get everything. I'm not saying that the fucking U.S. government wanted to assassinate his people. I'm just saying that whoever's...
I'll say it. 'Cause it has done it in the past before. So I'll say it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that because I'm trying to get in the Air Force right now, bro. I can't do it. But I will say that I will say that the guy who did it, the people who did it, I personally believe had some type of affiliation, and they don't want that shit released. They don't want that shit out. And then we all, of course, Tyler, you remember we talked about the numerous people that came out saying that there was a couple out at the concert threatening people, saying you guys are all going to die and all of that shit.
Yep.
The news should have always been looking, the police should have always been looking for multiple people. Like, that shit came out, that shit was on the internet, then that shit fizzled. Like, you didn't hear anybody talking about it. Like, I never saw CNN talking about, and what about this other couple and this young Hispanic lady? Like, you never heard any of that shit. That's crazy.
Well, in that interview, like, it took me, like, I saw it, and then it was, like, gone.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to track it back down, and then, like, I was sharing it with people, and they're like, how come I'm not seeing this anywhere? Like, good question, bro.
That shit doesn't make any fucking sense, bro. It don't make any sense, so I don't know. We'll it's another one we'll never know the full truth on, I guess. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, I mean, the motherfucker, they're supposed to release the fucking the secret files concerning the Kennedys, right? All that information, the Kennedy assassination, and what happened? You know what I'm saying? The unredacted shit, right? They decided to keep that shit in the vault just a little bit longer, right? So yeah, we ain't gonna never know.
Well, I think it's one of those things they gotta wait till everybody who was involved dies, and then it'll all come out.
Nah, but that was the case with the Kennedy assassination. They had to wait till all those agents, so that when the information was released, because Trump was supposed to sign it off, remember? And he decided under heavy advisement to keep that shit under for a little bit longer.
Yeah, but there's a lot of, I mean, Herbert Walker Bush is still alive. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those guys that are supposedly involved are still alive.
Yeah, so there's a reason why we gotta wait for them motherfuckers to die off first, right?
Let me ask you guys this. You are the
Is
POTUS.
shithole countries racist term? Yes.
Hang on. You are the POTUS. What is the first thing you do? What is the first information you ask for?
Me personally, I want to know what we know about aliens.
Dude, I am right there with you.
Me too.
Because we know about aliens, right? Like Area 51 and the whole story behind that is one of the, I guess, in the same breath, it's one of the most well executed and the most poorly executed cover-ups in United States history, right? Like, it's well executed in the sense that, yes, they technically have hidden all evidence of alien existence in terms of visitation to Earth, right? But it's poorly done because everybody knows about it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, it's like almost like the butt of jokes, right? Like, so, you know, it's one of those hidden in plain sight type shits. Like, we know that something extraterrestrial landed in Roswell, right? Like, we know that, but, you know, because of, you know, Project Blue Book and things like this, we don't know that, you know what I mean? Even though we know it. So
my thing is, I know, like, there's no way that we can be the only living things in the universe. There's definitely life out there. That's how I see it.
Absolutely. If you look at, I mean, we've had evidence of aliens on the planet for a very, very long time. Like, I like to bring up two specific examples, right? And I'm not a religious person. I used to be super religious, but I'm not anymore. But I always like to point to the book of Ezekiel, particularly Ezekiel's wheel, right? That passage where they literally describe a spaceship in the Bible, like, for real, like landing gear, exhaust, like, literally in the Bible, they, you know, speak about an alien visitation. Not to mention all the other religions in the past that, you know, have depicted, you know, helmeted, you know, visitors from distant stars, right? So there's that. And then also from a nature perspective, we all know evolution is a thing. Evolution is real. And evolution is essentially DNA remapping itself to survive conditions, right? So animals, you know, live in water. They eventually grow gills to learn how to, survive in that water, right? If you look at the tardigrades, uh, commonly known as water bears, they live all over the planet. There are no conditions that exist anywhere on Earth that would allow for that particular animal to evolve the sorts of tolerances it has, right? So it can withstand temperatures that are like, hundreds of degrees Fahrenheit, all the way down to damn near absolute zero, right? Like it can survive those temperatures. It can survive radiation that you only find in outer space. All kinds of just the conditions that it has evolved to survive don't exist on this planet, right? So it's possible that they may have come to Earth back in the day, when the Earth was, still relatively young, on comets or not rockets. Well, maybe rockets. Hey, who knows? But meteorites or meteors, I should say, because meteorites burn up in the atmosphere. But meteors or pieces of comets during the initial formation of the Earth or something like that. Because it's just insane the sorts of conditions that these animals can withstand. We've taken them into outer space and left them out there in the depths of outer space. Like we literally threw them out of the space shuttle and they survived. Like, you know what I mean? These sorts of things had to have evolved outside of the biosphere of Earth.
Wait, what are these animals, Alpha?
They're called tardigrades. Tardi. I can't. You asking me to spell right now? I can't. It's 12.
It's a microorganism.
Yeah, it's a microorganism. They're tardigrades. They're commonly known as water bears. So you might find those a little bit easier.
Okay.
But yeah, check them out, man. Like anybody.
Water bears. So I'm imagining like a bear, that can withstand radiation and temperature. Like, so I'm like, okay, I need to ask him again because like that's not making fucking sense. Like that's breaking my brain.
They're tiny, pretty microscopic animals. But yeah, man. So they possibly are aliens, right? So I mean. I think what's going to happen is within I made a joke about it on my Facebook timeline that at some point within the next 3 years of Trump's presidency, we're going to have an alien attack. But it's not going to be actual aliens. It's going to be the United States government using alien technology to sort of fake an alien attack.
You heard it here first, folks.
Conspiracy theories. Detox conspiracy theories.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, we need to market toy detox tinfoil hats.
Word. We
can who's ready to talk about flat Earth?
Art form.
Let's not even go there.
Dude, if I was president, bro, I would order. I wouldn't even ask. I would order. And this might be a little more serious, but I would order an investigation into the fucking Tulsa race riots in 1921, like the Black Wall Street shit. That would be the first thing I would do. That would be the first and main thing I would do, bro. You know what I'm saying?
That happened at least 60 times in American history, right?
Yeah.
Tulsa was just the most popular one. Yeah. It happened 59 other times.
Like the Ocoee race riots down here in Florida.
Yep.
I find it like amazing. Like that's never as many things that we've looked into. Well, to be fair, we've not looked into much of nothing. But I find it amazing that those type of things have not been looked into at all. Like no official, you know what I mean? Like I remember when they gave that bullshit apology, like right around the time when Obama was getting ready to run for president, just a little before that, they gave that bullshit apology for slavery. Like Congress or whatever came together and said we want to, for the first time, apologize for slavery bullshit. But like never went any further than that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things. There are a lot of things far beyond slavery that happened that should be investigated, that should be dealt with, where facts could be released, and it affects life up to this point. People don't realize that because there's no consideration of it at all, because everything is thought of as, oh, okay, racism was just slavery. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean to put a dark mark over everything on the show and shit, right? But I'm just saying that's what I would fucking call for. That, and I would also call for Scarlett Johansson and Megan Good to be my chief of staff and my White House secretary or something. I don't know. Well,
Megan good, boy. Megan fucking good, boy.
That would be. So
that's too much.
While we're working on that declaration, we will be doing some extensive note taking.
Yeah, Megan Good for sure. Definitely Megan Good.
I need
and
both.
Scarlett Johansson
I need
too.
both.
But more so Megan Good. Jesus Christ.
Mickey would be like, "It hurts to sit down. I need to stand up and write. So let me just use your booty."
I would say that by presidential proclamation, Molly's and ecstasy are legal in this office.
Wow.
For the next 7 days, 6 hours and 42 minutes.
You will have you will have no serotonin or bodily fluids left.
I would have none. I need somebody to bring me an IV, a spatula, and some peanut butter. and a bicycle tire in a tube. Don't ask what it's for. Just bring it. Bring it now. What's next on the list there, fellas? What was next on the conversation list?
I'm good.
I thought we had something else going on after this. Talking about.
Did you guys see the new MP that was shown today?
Trash.
Black Panther,
right?
Yeah, the MP 34S. It's what, Shadow Panther?
Shadow what?
Yeah, Shadow Panther.
Shadow what? What is that?
Yeah, it's a black and gold repaint of Cheetor.
Oh god. Why we would? Oh god.
And then was it? I don't even know how to say it. I think it's Dekenki Hobby or whatever the magazine is called. They showed pictures of the Takara Power of the Primes figures, and they are, as expected, exactly like the Hasbro versions. So,
better paint.
So all of you KO collecting motherfuckers that said it never hurt anybody, you guys, it's all your fault that Takara is going down right now.
How is Takara possibly going down, dude? Like, it's impossible.
Dude, they're in trouble.
You mean their Transformers portion of business of Takara?
no, like Takara is fucked. Like, they lost the Pokemon license. And just, I mean,
I find that hard to believe because Takara is into all kinds of shit. Like, the shit that we know about Takara, that we love for Takara here, is like minimal compared to all the shit that Takara is into over there, man. I'm Googling it. I'm consulting the book of knowledge.
And is in a crisis, Mickey. They're not, like, nobody is reproducing. There's no new fans to take up, the lines.
You said Japan is in a crisis?
Yeah, I've read it, man. Like, apparently guys are too scared of chicks.
Sounds like fake news to me. Fake news.
I mean,
no, like that. Like, I know you're probably not in the groups, Mickey, but like the word on the street is Hasbro is going to officially buy out Takara.
But is that because? Okay, I'm not going to debate what's going on in the groups because I can honestly say that I'm not fucking in the groups at all. But
yeah, but like what it is that it's Takara's in trouble. So you're gonna see Hasbro buy them out, and like just like what the Hasbro Asia launches are, that are pretty much the exact same thing as the U.S. launches. You're just gonna see it spill over into the Takara.
I'll be willing to believe that anything that Takara is into that we get here in the States, I'd be willing to believe any of those licenses or whatever. I would be willing to believe that those shits ain't selling like they should or was or whatever the fuck. and Hasbro's gonna buy it out, I'd be all on board for that shit. But all that other dumb shit they make, that's like just global shit. I don't know. I find it hard to believe that they sucking like that. I mean, obviously, I could be wrong. I mean, who am I? You know what I'm saying? I don't have like insight into their fucking books. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe you guys are right.
I don't know, man. I'm super bummed that I'm not gonna get Buster and Hydra from.
Now, why would
Dread
we not?
World.
Why would we not get that? So you guys are saying, or no? Let me ask. It's better to ask when you don't know. Are you guys suggesting that with Hasbro acquiring Takara or fully buying them out, we will no longer get the Masterpiece line?
No, we'll get the. I'm saying as far as the Power of the Primes figures, like you know how Titans Returns, you had like the shitty colored Blur, the shitty colored Scourge, like you had the really shitty Power Master Optimus Prime,
Right.
and then Takara, like they did the really nice paint job on Blur. They did, they
gave Power Masters all to the Target Masters.
Yeah, I mean they made the Takara Jinrai. And then, they gave Target Masters to all the Target Masters, like Garrett said. But, like, since Takara's Powers of the Prime line are going to be the same as the Hasbro releases, like, we won't get those Japanese exclusive characters, like, where it's a deco change. Or, I doubt we're going to get any Takara exclusive molds like Jinrai. Because they're so fucked that they're just using the Hasbro product as is.
Okay.
So like
Alright.
I
They
said,
can give us a paddles.
all of you guys that said buying your KOs wouldn't matter.
Now, and where does this information stem from?
Well, I mean, it's stemming from like the hobby magazines in Japan saying that the releases are going to be the same as the U.S. And then there are members within the community and the Facebook groups who are leaving little tidbits of information like that. So there's that.
Okay, so I'm reading an article right now that supports what you guys are saying. What is this? Is Takara Tomy in Hasbro's gun sights by Lutz Muller? He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. This is as of July 10th, 2017, right? Back in 2017?
Sounds like a mouth breather.
July 2017, but gosh, that's a while back. So they've been in trouble. So Takara Tomy is losing one of his best licenses, and its revenue outlook is negative for the next 2 years. The company has failed in its efforts over the past 6 years to diversify from a declining Japanese toy market. Now that bothers me. That statement bothers me because that sounds like a declining Japanese toy market. That was. If that's the case, then that would suggest that that they're not the only people having problems over there, right? Which means that could cause the problem with even the rest of the third party shit that we're into, and not just third party shit like the motherfucking Figma shit I like and the fucking all of that other shit. I hope that's not the case. The company has incurred massive losses since 2012. Since 2012, though, it has hence become a takeover target and this possibly from the side of Hasbro, you fucking backstabbers. Huh. A few weeks ago, I had a conversation with an old friend of mine, a senior buyer at a large Japanese toy retailer, who asked me whether I had seen the announcement about Pokemon pulling its licenses from Takara Tomy and giving it to Wicked Cool Toys. You guys ever heard of them?
Nope.
A company, toys company, as of July 2018. I said that I had the follow-up question was whether I thought it likely that one of the two large American toy companies would buy Takara Tomy. Japanese executives are not in the habit of asking flippant questions, and this one made me think that there could be something major. Or blah, blah, there could be something, in fact, major happening and meriting further investigation. Huh. You fucking KO lovers. And then there's some other little stats here about shit. This makes me want to look. This makes me want to look into. This makes me want to look into the rest of Japan's toy market now. Huh. This guy says, by following me, you will find that the expertise and the tools I bring to the table will likely help you make informed decisions about key toy stocks such as Hasbro, Mattel, Jakks Pacific. Like, who buys Jakks toys? And more. Yeah, good job. Whatever.
Wasn't
there you have
Hasbro
it.
also looking into Mattel?
Yeah, that rumor's been floating around for a while too.
Fucking Hasbro's evil. Well,
I think that Hasbro buying out Mattel would actually get squashed by antitrust stuff, because then, it'd effectively be like 2/3 of the market would be one company.
yeah. I want to know about this Japanese toy market in trouble. Let's see about that. Consult the book of knowledge.
Didn't Bandai lose the Voltron license?
To
Yeah, that's why they say they're not going to
Toonami?
do it. No, Bandai, like Sola Chigoken. That's why they're saying they can't do a reissue of that. That's why that figure's shooting up to like $500-$600.
Exactly. Yeah, which is
Although, did you see the KO is coming out?
Oh, KO's
Yeah.
live.
There's a KO, but the funny thing is the KO is almost as much
Expensive?
as the original.
Really?
So,
Who the fuck is going to be the company to give us the lions with the pilots again? Like, I want like the ones that Maddie did, but better. You know what I'm saying? I want that again, man. I don't want no lions without no pilots. That's bullshit.
the Maddie one was like the one that was like
Yeah.
a foot and a half tall or something.
Yeah.
No,
like
that thing
that.
was like 2 feet tall,
I
wasn't it?
love
I
that
thought it was
thing,
24
dude.
inches.
Yeah, it was tall as fuck. It was taller than
If
the
if you
Metroplex.
if you could get it to stand up.
No, it stood up
Right,
just
that
fine,
shitty
bro.
knee.
No, it stood just
Nah,
fine.
that thing had that thing had.
It
some-
was known for having bad knees.
I had it. I had it. The problem with it is
You
that
had a good.
I don't know. Mine didn't have any problem standing. Now, if you want to try and get into like some crazy ass A stance, then you might not be able to make it. But it's still to find the problem is the fucking lion legs kept popping out. That was the sucky part because they had a little spring loaded mechanism, whatever. Wow, spring loaded
remember.
mechanism? Yeah, yeah, spring loaded
Well,
mechanism.
No, I'm trying to think. I don't remember a spring-loaded mechanism on that thing.
Yeah, on the each lion's all the lion's legs, they had like a spring loaded thing, right? So then you could.
Oh,
click
I
them
thought
in.
you were talking about like in combined mode. You're talking about when they folded up on the sides of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was still pretty cool. I mean, because we got to consider when they first came out, what the lions were like $50-something each, and then they shot up in value after that. You know what I mean? And then so if you wanted like to get the full set, it would cost you like around $500-something, which is not much more than you see a third party combiner. You know what I'm saying? But it went up way past that. I think I sold mine for a good penny more than that. But it was a pretty cool set. I mean, obviously it could have been better, but I wish someone would do a set where they have the pilots that go with it, and that can go even if it was like the who the fuck was I talking to about this? As a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody here recently about this, but it would have been even if they did like 3 3/4 pilots to go inside of them or something. That would be really cool. But I guess not.
I don't know if I need my pilots to go inside them. I mean,
have to.
it would. I mean, it would be cool to have pilots to just stand out in front of them.
No, I mean, yeah, that's cool and shit. But I like. Okay, I'm a big fan of whenever you got any kind of mech or any kind of robot or something like that, and there's a pilot for it in the animation of the cartoon. I want to see that motherfucker get in it. You know what I'm saying? Like remember like the Moss Speeder shits from Robotech and all that shit, and the Robotech jets and all that shit. I want to see the full thing get down, dude.
The Playmates Voltron for the Netflix one did that. They had like little pilot rubber things
Did they?
that would go inside each lion.
But were they in scale though? Right.
I guess it was like each one was like a little speeder, and then driving the little speeder was like a
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Gary, you're talking about the legendary Defender ones?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they like each of them come with a tiny little, like 3/4 of an inch speeder, unpainted, looks like leftover from a model kit.
Well, they were
Nah, I
painted.
don't
They
want no
were
shit like that.
barely painted. Like one was yellow, one was green. Like that was the only paint on it.
Nah, I want an actual figure. Even
I don't know,
if
I
it's
read
like
something
G.I. Joe
interesting
scale.
in Realm of Collectors today
What's that?
that said that KOs don't hurt Takara Tomy, third party does, and I was like, bullshit. Like,
Man, I still believe that those motherfucking KOs are from Takara Tomy. Like, I know we've had this conversation like 1,000 times, but I still believe it because it's crazy how fast they come out, dude. Like, it's insane, and no one stops that shit.
I don't think Takara is the one behind it. Now, if you're going to tell me that somebody's using the factory after hours and using Takara's equipment, I could see that.
I don't know. I think that I think Takara got something to do with that shit. I mean, not maybe not that guy, but the company. I think the company's got something to do with that shit. I just think so.
I was gonna say because come on, you'd have to be in order to manufacture en masse a bunch of KOs using the same factory, like after hours. Like I don't know.
And then like for years, since the first side swipe, for years this shit's been going down, and they ain't stopped that shit yet. And Takara's over there. You know what I'm saying?
KOs have been out since the '80s. Like,
as far as I remember, to quote a very wise group of prophets, you bitch ass punk motherfucker bootlegger selling my tape, you get shot. You know what I'm saying? That's what the wise men of Onyx said. You bitch ass bootlegger motherfucker selling my tape, you get shot. They put that shit to a stop, dude. So I don't see how the fuck the car is over there and they don't put that shit to a stop. That don't make any sense. I mean, them shits come out, got the same box. Only thing different maybe the imprint of the serial number under the bottom. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
well, like somebody did a really detailed breakdown of how to tell the MP36 KO from the authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And like the corrugation of the cardboard,
goes different directions.
It's running perpendicular to what like the Takara Tomy was. So I found that interesting just from a manufacturing standpoint. But Mickey, to go off what you're saying, like if you had an inkling that a KO is being made in your factory after hours, like I'm with you. Like I would shut that shit down immediately.
You shut it down. And that's not a small thing. It's not like a tiny little, let me just do this in the corner. You're talking about big ass machines that make noise that require multiple people to run. Like that's not a thing you can do on the low.
Well, yeah, but I mean, from my understanding too, is that some factories in China run like around the clock. It's just they're swapping out, molds and stuff, from like 8 to 5, they're making fidget spinners. And then from 5 to 10, they're making, transformers. And then from 10 to 6, they're making rulers, like I've heard that. I mean, I'm not in the business. I can't verify that, but that's what I've heard.
Have you guys ever watched it? Have you guys ever watched any of the like if you get on YouTube, there's certain videos that and it's not specific to Transformers, but it does get into like the manufacturing process overseas, like in Japan and shit, for a lot of these toys they produce and shit, and they show how it's not like it's just on an assembly line and some robots putting all shit together, or it's just one guy in the corner, like we said earlier. It's like you have the mold production and all of that shit, those machines running. And then you got people fucking painting shit by hand and putting shit together by hand and assembling this by hand and putting that. It's a lot of fucking people in that. So again, I don't see that as something. Let me just say this: if it's being done at a factory, that whole fucking factory has something to do with it. Now, the people who are doing it may not know that the ones they're working on at that particular time are going towards the KO. They may not know. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's just this pallet of shit that didn't, I think we had this conversation before back in the day that you got a pallet of them or a couple pallets of them that are fucking, that don't meet the fucking requirements for inspection or QC or whatever. I don't fucking know, but they don't run out of them. I mean, you still see Sideswipe fucking KOs in the marketplace. You know what I'm saying? They're not running out. They're not drying up. It's not like that fucking Sideswipe KO or that Tiger Tracks KO is now worth $200 because you can't buy it anymore. That shit's still out. That means it's still being produced. That means no one's stopping it, and that means that plant there, that shit's getting done at, where everyone knows their shit is going through because they have a business deal with them to produce these toys. No one has gone to that plant and said, hey, you stop it. You bitch ass bootlegger motherfucker selling my Sideswipe. You get shot. You know what I'm saying? No one has done that. No one has done that. So that means that somebody on some level knows that shit's going down. And it's a lot of, and let's not forget, man. And Tyler, I know you can give us information on this. There's bootlegging there's bootlegging of almost every fucking popular product in all fucking retail markets, not just toys, but like, you know, purses and watches and clothes and blah blah blah. Like there was I remember there was
electronics
a deal.
now.
Yeah, it's
knockoff iPhones.
Yeah, bootleg all over shit. And to be real, I remember being in Kuwait. Kuwait's like fucking buy a bootleg capital, dude. You go to the fucking they call it the bazaar. You go out to the bazaar, bro, and they got like all these fucking booths of fucking Breitling watches and Tag Heuer watches and all kinds of shit. And it's all that shit, right? And there were concerted efforts to stop that shit, like coming out of like Singapore and places like that. You know what I mean? Where remember, you guys remember that shit like back in the day? They had the little news joint where they showed the motherfucking big ass steamroller rolling over all the KOs and setting the shit on fire, and motherfuckers went to jail. And guess what? That shit still happens. You know what I mean?
I mean, there was a bust in the greater DC area a couple weeks ago for like 55,000 pairs of knockoff Nikes and Jordans.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
When they want to stop that shit, they stop that shit. But the motherfucking plants, I find it hard to believe that the motherfuckers at Takara don't know about these goddamn KOs or couldn't stop these KOs. They want to stop these KOs.
Well, I mean, so I can speak from the industry I'm in, right? So when the KO issue really started getting big with the sneakers, like in the late 90s, what they were finding is these factory workers would stay late and just continue to make pairs and then take them out the back door and sell them, right? And so the companies wised up to it, so they started taking stricter control of the, if you want to call it, the hard goods, like the components to make the product. So then what they started doing was bringing in their own. That way when, you know, the manager or whoever would walk around and count the inventory, it was all accounted for. And that's really when you started to see because before they used to call them like unauthorized copies, you know what I mean, or unauthorized pairs. Like if Nike orders, let's say 50,000 pairs of a shoe, and these guys make 50,500. You know what I mean? So like there's these unauthorized pairs. So once they got that cracked down, again, counting the hard goods, then they started bringing in their own goods, but they're buying like the cheapest stuff possible, right? So you're not getting full grain leather, you're getting some cheap knockoff synthetic leather, and they're still using the same machines, the same cutting tools, same stuff like that. So, you know, once they cut down on that, I mean, as long as there's a market for it, to your point, Mickey, these there's gonna be people out there trying to fill it.
You know what? You raise a good point. So you raised a point about the materials, right? So like I know we talked about a little bit of this when Robert D was on the time, right? But so like we all know like knockoff purses, knockoff shoes, knockoff J's, or a knockoff polo shirt, or whatever the case is, the material isn't the same. You know what I'm saying? Or there are differences that you can see, not just the defects in like maybe the print or the stitching. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Gucci bag may not have that red stitch on the inside type shit. You know what I mean? So and the leather is obviously not the same. But when it comes to the fucking the the KO MPs, that's the same fucking plastic. That's the same fucking die cast.
Not always. Like those, like there's some of those sideswipe copies that are out there that like you can hold a flashlight up to them and it looks like a nightlight.
Well, you talking about like the fucking the translucent portions of it? Because as far as like the actual plastic, I ain't never seen that.
Yeah, there's some thinner copies out there, or like the plastic isn't as glossy. Like it doesn't have the finish. It's more of like a flat. Like I've seen, like especially that one, which I think we can all agree is probably the most knocked off. Yeah. Probably that and the MP10 now. But I mean, like you'll see variations in the plastic, and it's funny like when it comes to the sneakers, I mean, there's plastic components like in the shoes, right? So like what these guys were doing is they would take water bottles, they would take what they would consider scrap plastic and melt it down and use it.
Yeah, those motherfuckers are like they're trying to get it in. Like they're trying to like whatever we can say, we're gonna get this shit in. We're gonna make this motherfucker shoe.
Tyler.
Yep.
Hey, according to Extra Zero, from Breaking the Mold, he was saying that with the new Power of the Prime's Rodimus, if you shine a flashlight up to it, you can see like your finger behind it.
Oh.
So apparently Hasbro is using that same quality plastic that the KOs were using.
These motherfuckers are in on this shit, bro. I'm telling you, they're in on this shit. This shit says, okay. Question. What year does anyone know? This is not like fucking trivia. I'm asking to know. Does anyone know what year or around what year fucking Sideswipe hit the marketplace? The MP Sideswipe.
I don't know, man.
Hold on.
A while ago.
You got me going to Google it now. Talk amongst yourselves.
Because it makes me wonder, because this guy in his article, and I don't know how reliable he is, right? But his article, he says that Takara's been doing bad since 2012, right? So I'm wondering if at some point it was like, you know what? We need to add extra revenue stream.
Right, here we go.
You're terrible.
I am.
From TFW, posted March 12th, 2012. MP12 Lambor announced. So there you go.
2012.
We may not know.
Mickey and his idiot savant Rain Man method may be onto something.
So we may not know what the fuck's up behind the true shit behind this fucking Las Vegas mass shooting shit, but we damn sure just cracked the Takara code. Tyler, at this point, I think we should go back and fucking drop the mic on everybody who doubted us on our fans toy conspiracy as well. Because I think at some point we're gonna be proven correct about that shit as well. There you go, people. You can thank Detox. You just got your fucking answer about the fucking KO mystery from Toy Detox. We did that. We did it. We gave it to you. And I want a 0.5. Good job.
No.
I want a 0.5. We've been on this bitch for 2 hours and 12 minutes.
I know.
And we still haven't gotten into the meat of the...
We are driving Bobby up the wall right now. He's been listening for 2 hours waiting, and we haven't given it to him yet. It's all right. So, do you guys want to get into that now?
I want to know what you've ordered here recently. That's what I want to know. I want to know what you ordered.
Let's save that till the end.
So let's hear it, Tyler. Let's go. Let's get to what everybody's waiting for, bro.
Cause there's some more, FYI.
You did? Oh, I'm giving you so much shit. I'm giving you so much shit.
Just wait till I send you pictures of what's gonna deliver on Saturday.
I'm giving you so much shit.
All right,
So Tyler, take us to the beginning.